Hey Bear Buddies, this is Miss Saba. Today we are reading Hands Around the Library, Protecting Egypt's Treasured Books by Susan L. Roth and Karen Leggett Abaraya, collages by Susan L. Roth. As I read our story today, make sure that you're paying close attention to the details so that you can answer our big question of why did everyone hold hands around the Alexandria Library? Once upon a time, not a long time ago, many people in Egypt were sad and sometimes angry because they were not free to speak or vote as they wished or gather in groups. They knew about freedom, but only from books or the internet or whispering inside these safe walls of our Alexandria Library. Egypt's young people decided it was finally time to let their voices be heard, and so they began to march in the streets. First, they marched in Cairo, but soon they marched in Alexandria too. They raised their voices, and many others followed. I'm a part of this story. I marched in Alexandria too. I was excited and hopeful, but I was also scared. In other parts of our city, some of the protesters had acted in anger. They had set fire to cars and to a police station. As we marched toward the library, I grew worried. What if they tried to burn it down? Our Alexandria Library, built on the ashes of the ancient, famous one, is the most beautiful modern building in all of Egypt. Our ancient Egyptian stories are kept alive here, in the books and in the carved stone and shimmering glass of the building itself. We were free inside the library, even when we were not free outside. We could not let our Alexandria Library burn. I was surrounded by the sounds of pounding feet and shouting voices. Maybe it was the noise of peaceful people demanding freedom. But maybe the people were so angry that they would hurt each other, hurt me, or hurt our library. Thousands of us were marching for freedom as if caught on a wave from the Mediterranean Sea. Dr. Ismail Saragoldin, the library director, saw us approaching. "The library has no gates that can be locked," he called out. "The doors are all glass. There is nothing that prevents anybody from destroying this building with all its treasures, except the will of the people." The marchers pushed together, closer and closer to the library. The crowd surged around me on the sidewalk, shouting and waving signs. We were in front of the library. We were on the library steps. The shouting grew louder. Then a young man broke from the marchers. He ran up the steps to Dr. Saragoldin. And he took hold of the director's hand. A young girl followed. She took Dr. Saragoldin's other hand. And then there were 5, then 6, then 7, then 10, all holding hands, protecting the library. Then I too broke into the chain that was stretching farther and farther, turning around the library, reaching toward the sea. When some of the marchers spread a huge Egyptian flag across the steps, people cried together, "We love you, Egypt!" A little boy held up another Egyptian flag. It was twice as tall as he was. He waved it right in front of Dr. Ismail Saragoldin. A smile crinkled the director's face as he spoke. "Thank you for protecting our library with us. Go forth into the journey of your lives and create a better world." Thank you, he said, his voice catching a little. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. That day, the whole world heard his words and watched our Alexandria library, our Biblioteca Alexandrina, with all our people holding hands in the perfect circle surrounding it. And because together we all protested our Biblioteca Alexandrina, once upon a time, not a long time ago, the library still stands today, holding all of our stories. And then here are just some real life pictures of the protests and of the library. That's it. Bye, buddies.